What up, what up, what is going on? We literally just missed this popping up right here. It showed up on our monitor, 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go for the beginning of Osiris League Grand Final. And oh my goodness, well, I'm actually super stoked to be casting this match. This one's gonna be interesting. It's a little bit of a weird one. V636 and Kingdom 636 are a nasty strong kingdom. Great opponents. They're actually a super strong team for a 600 kingdom. They really got a good team going on in there. On the other side of the screen in red are the two-time champions of Osiris League. 2 times champions of Osiris League, of the realm of before there was a Horus, and then of Horus the third season. How am I doing? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I mean, this match is gonna be nuts. Now I am trying to find, where is this? You. That. And all that. Well, that's better. But yeah, man, I am stoked. I mean, 3 minutes to go. 2 massive teams. OV against the folks of V636. Now, I did this on stream yesterday. You all got to see it. You all got to witness it. We bet all we got on V636. I honestly think that the odds are pretty good the way they look. It makes sense what I'm seeing here, but at the same time, that little bit of blue can be a huge payout for us if somehow V636 managed to pull a clutch. Now here's the thing, both teams have the same troops and the same commanders, so no commander advantage going into this. They even have the brand new archer commanders on deck ready to rock and roll. On top of all that, they have the same set amount of troops, exactly like Osiris Invitational was last season. So at this point, it's a question of having the stronger VIP levels, having the better strategy, having the more advanced players, the ones who have played Osiris League to a very high level before, and both teams have them. Both teams have them. That's the crazy thing. I mean, the real question is, what is V636 going to do against OV's middle? OV's middle is the only thing that I don't know what you do against yet. Nobody's yet to crack it without OV allowing them to crack it, essentially. And I'm really curious to see what V636 will come up with to try to get that middle or to offset it. Because if OV keep controlling the Ark of Osiris through the whole match and the pace of it and how many show up and how many points arcs are worth, essentially, that means that V636 have a tougher task to try to get over. So if anyone manages to slow down OV's middle, that could potentially leave enough room to offset it with buildings, provisions, and things like that. I'm doing all right. It's a little bit of a cold time out here. It's really cold out here. Thank you, Milton. Kidnap John Wick to win middle against OV. That he is one of the crazier carriers out there, but there is something magical about the way OV play middle, and we're gonna take a look at it and keep an eye on it a lot. That's why we're on the tablet actually, so we can watch middle very closely. 30 seconds before the match starts, who do you guys think is going to win this match? Who do you guys think is going to win, V636 or OV? Let me know in the comments. What's up, Danny? Mr. Danny Boy, a.k.a. Daniel. I'll take that. Come on, V636, give me some coins. Although, honestly, it'd be awesome to see my friend John Wick again lift the trophy. Older kingdoms having advantage? Not necessarily. In here, everything is fair play. I mean, VIP, true. Let's go back up in here. Watch. Can we enter? We can enter, ladies and gentlemen, and we are in. the match. Let's go take a quick peek and see who's teleporting where. Let's hit that record button too so we have some footage for later on. Here we go. V636 are on their TP right now. They haven't fully teleported. That's what I like to see. They're controlled teleporting in. Let's make sure that that's true. In a moment, we'll get to see that. They're continual teleports. And let's go take a quick small look at OV. They are doing the same thing. They're pacing their TPs, making sure that the right players get in at the right order. That way, the lines and marches make more sense. These are micro optimizations, mini optimizations. The teleporting order matters. It is where you are placed in the line of fights, essentially. That third line, that first line, that second line. And that is crucial time, march time in the beginning. You don't want to have folks back here having to get to the buildings as quickly as possible. Final TP came from Circle K, and I believe everybody is on the field. OV still taking their time with their teleports, and here they come. OV on the field as well. Oh man, I'm excited. I wonder what we're going to see on the field. I honestly am stoked to see what kind of pairs these teams came up with the time they had with all the commanders. Remember, they also have the archer commanders, so we might see those on the field. We might see some combinations that folks are experimenting with. This is the time to keep our eyes on everything and anything. It's also why I'm recording the match, so we have footage later on of the plays and of the teams and of the choices. And as a minute before the map opens up for contest, if you've never watched Ark of Osiris, Ark of Osiris is run on the Osiris map, what you're watching right here. The Osiris map is a mirrored map. Therefore, there are the same equal amounts of buildings on either side. The blue side being the top goes all the way to the sky altar, which you're seeing right there. And the desert altar is already the mirrored side of the red team, which is the bottom. So anytime you hear me say a building that was supposed to be blue is red, or the enemy's team or something like that, it corresponds to the building that's not supposed to be your team's by the layout of the map. Did I buy an iPad? No, this is a Tab S7 Plus. With 20 seconds remaining, we are, I'm honestly really, really looking forward to see these middle fights. I'm wondering if OV are going to be as aggressive as they usually are early on and swarm towards the desert altar this way. Are they going to stay back to defend their own? We're going to take a look momentarily and see that happen. Spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you this right now. As soon as I go in and the marches show up, we'll get simplified graphics, and that's just life. This game does that. Hopefully we don't get simplified graphics too badly, but by the looks of it, the fast cavs are out. One of the strategies that has been very predominant lately, ladies and gentlemen, and you're watching it unfold right in front of you, are T1 cavalry suicide marches. Whether you like it or not, in Ark of Osiris, the way you accumulate energy to cause skills to proc is by fighting on the field. So what folks have been finding out is that let T1s die, and when those T1s die, that energy bar goes up. And so all of these marches are going to march forward, pick up objectives, but at the same time, they're not planning on coming back home. The idea is to grab these objectives and go suicide on an enemy's objective, slow them down maybe a little bit, maybe snag something away from the enemy. But if you don't, you let those T1s die, and that's how the energy bars start going up much quicker. You can see that's happening right here. Blue team will have some, more than likely, some T1 marches on their way down the field to get themselves a little bit of extra energy bars. As people have been implementing this for quite some time now. We've been seeing sneaky players coming out of this obelisk right there and flowing down, trying to pick up a sky altar, trying to pick up any other type of building. So far, both teams looking very, very even. The red team does have one more outpost in their favor, which means they'll start ticking for more points quicker in this match. But regardless, that doesn't matter. Let's do this. First and foremost, we have some informational pop-ups that will show up through the match. And also, while we're at it, we want to make sure that you guys get the full view of things. So right there, you have a little bit of fast cabs, more of these fast cabs marching down, trying to get themselves some points right there. That's what we're talking about. Some energy bars. In the meantime, looking at the defense, again, red team doing the same exact thing. Those T1 marches are about to cross the map and try to yoink something. John Wick, who was previously on the outpost, we saw him do that. Look at this right there. He's 45 seconds away from trying to yoink something. He's coming this way, but he's going to suicide his march before he's trying to get here and hope and pray that he can go 1v1 against Tintin right there. They're very close. These are the kinds of plays that John Wick is trying to do. And for the record, someone managed to do this. If you're quick enough, you can indeed yoink an obelisk, or at least get a 1v1 scenario with a solo march, which you could win. And so here comes the rally. That T1 march is going to continue going on, and this is more of a T4, T5, there's no T4s. T5 rally right there, getting ready to rock and roll. John Wick and the T1 are freaking rally right there. This is what I'm talking about. All of these are going to give OV a huge amount of points of energy, and they'll be able to cast skills quicker. And so here comes the OV suicide train. John Wick going back home. T1's going back home. Let's go look at the desert altar. Look at what we got here. OV going on the aggressive. They are super close to the desert altar. That's supposed to be the red desert altar early on. A lot of aggression by OV. On the other side of the map, they are defensively holding well. There's only T1s pushing in here. OV are putting so much pressure on the map early on. On this side, the Shrine of War, V636 are ready to defend it. The Sky Altar is also being marched towards, and there is some presence pushing forward. Look at OV. This is what I was talking about, ladies and gentlemen. OV's aggression is upon us. And here we go. They're going to come down here. They're going to put as much pressure as they can. They're going to try to yoink a building away, not only in here, but also in the desert altar. Now, all of these are getting rallied by T1s. There goes a T1 rally right there. And there goes one T1 rally that died right there. These are just to keep teams honest, and people have lost obelisks like this. Look at this right here. There is a breakdown of the rally. There's a swarm of T1s on this obelisk. Swarm of T1s trying to get that energy accumulated. And with all that being said, here comes V636, 28 seconds before the building opens up. They're going to be a little bit late, but they will be here for the party. The question is whether they can pick up the building first, or they're going to lose it to OV at the very beginning of the match. You do not want to lose that first occupation bonus, which in Rise of Kingdoms Ark of Osiris is 750 points if you score those desert altars first for your team. 750 points each. There's 4 of those. Whew, those first occupations can be important. And here we go. Who gets it? The red team does get their building as it should be. And the map is indeed as it should be, ladies and gentlemen. Each team is picking up their own buildings in their own side correctly. Now, the red team need to get in this building and get their garrison up and running to not let the swarm take down the building. While that's going down, the Shrine of War is also getting severely, and there comes our delayed graphics. And we can't disable it from inside the match. Thank you, Lilith. And so with all that being said, we have a Shrine of War that might go down. It's getting reinforced, which is good, but there's huge presence in here by OV. This building is not 100% safe just yet, but there's a lot of open field presence. I see a Lu Bu on the field, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, this is not a Gecko Gaming stream or any of that sort without verification hitting us up in the middle of the world. So that always happens. With that being said, Lu Bu on the field is an interesting pair that we're going to try to see if we can catch a report of him hitting or something like that. But hey, buildings secured. Red team have their buildings like they need them to have. And now it's time to start pushing forward. It's time to do something. 6 minutes before the Ark is here. There are blue marches already positioning themselves towards the middle. 6 minutes before the Ark, OV are already somewhere in here. While we take a look, they are still pouring down marches to distract the desert altar. And while that's going on, rallies are being set. V636 have 2 of them set up. OV have, right, I always get messed up with it. So OV have 2 of them. V636 have 3 of them being set and ready to rock and roll. That's what you need right now. You need rallies and open field presence to get yourself out into the game, the points per minute game. Right now, the blue team is a little bit in the lead, and that is primarily because I'm assuming one of their buildings closed for them a little bit earlier, and so that's only 150 points. Not the biggest of deals. Still plenty of time for V636, of course, to even get into this. That hasn't even started. The buildings haven't even locked up in anyone's favor yet. And so the rallies are going to start marching. Let's go take a look at this rally right here that is on its way. It's a Nebuchadnezzar, however the heck you say his name. You guys know I can't say his name. And I would hope there's a Cyrus somewhere in here. Or is that Cyrus? No, that's Nebu. Okay, there's an archer rally marching down to what should be a decent stronghold. We're going to get to see the report momentarily. We're going to take screenshots of the reports and all that. So we have that data available later as well, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, we're also recording and we'll have all of the footage available in the channel, as well as later on we'll cut it up and get some lesson learned out of all of this. Look at V636. They are slowly and steadily moving themselves into the positions they need to be in to get close with the rally. They are provisioning while they march forward. Once those marches die off in the fight and come home, they'll bring in points for free. So that's not terrible. Now this march is about to get out and continue with the rally. There's 3 of them in here. And so with a rally coming down the line on the blue building, this is not the only one being contested right now. There is another Nebu rally down here. It is hitting right now. It is, what was that, Nebu Ramses? Did I see a Nebu Ramses? Am I crazy? No, it is a Nebu Ramses. Okay, so we're going to look at that report momentarily as well. While that is happening, not a hugely successful siege right there. OV, that cavalry rally against the Zenobia, it's just not doing the job. Shrine of Life, Zenobia against, this is looking a little bit better for the team in red. They have lost a slight little outpost, so that's a little bit of a pain in the butt. There's a few points that they're missing on, but hey, here comes a proper rally trying to take a building away. This is a Zenobia and Yisun Sin defense, and the rally is doing all right against it. Middle is about to come in, 3 minutes to go. Buildings blinking all over the place. We really want to go see what goes on in all of them, so we'll quickly fly by. Sloudy's Saladin Chandragupta rally isn't too successful against the Shrine of War's defense. The Sky Altar is still being contested. There is a big swarm in here. There was a rally here previously. It's not here no more, but the swarm is taking care of the job. And V636 about to take a Sky Altar away from OV and take the point per minute lead at the 47th minute. They are 200 points behind, but now 120 points per minute more in their favor, and if they continue to hold on to their building, they might get even further than that. The Shrine of Life successfully secured. Let's go take a quick peek before we run into the middle at the rally report. If we could look at it, that would have been amazing. Well, the fight's still going on. No. Why you not show us reports? Hopefully you can see the other buildings report. Oh boy, OV's Desert Altar. Oh boy, OV, V636, with such aggression, just picked up two altars away from OV, 150 points per minute each, with V636 now in command of the point per minute lead by 270 points per minute. The Ark is about to pop, but this is everything we've always said about a middle team. A middle team, once it goes to the middle, you have to capitalize on the sides. And V636, reading OV like a book, they managed to take both the altars, and they're still holding on the middle really, really well. Right now, I'm not seeing that many red frownies, although they are starting to come in. I'm seeing an equal trade from the blue team in this middle fight. It's been going on for a little bit, but look at V636. At this point, even if OV take the Ark and go away with it, this is a 3,000 point Ark. If it's going to take them, let's say, 5 minutes to get this Ark in, by that time, V636 would have already made more points. And so, well, almost the same amount of points. So that Ark is not going to be as significant if OV are not going to be able to capitalize on it quick enough and get their buildings back. You have to get your buildings back. If you don't own the altars, you're actually missing out on more than 50% of the points in the game. Now, think of it this way. In a few moments, those blue altars are going to turn red, and then they're going to start ticking for points for the red team. If this Ark doesn't go home quick and those buildings come back into the blue side fast, for the blue team, it is over. But look as the blender turned on. Look as the blender turned on. All the red marches are being smushed out of existence. But there is a second wave. We know there is a second wave. The wave that took the altars are now going to start making it into the middle. So we should be seeing still a second wave of red marches all over the place. There were also a few marches sitting up here, as you can see right there. Those marches can very easily hold onto a building while OV have to secure this Ark. Gia picking up the Ark is booking it with it. And now the question is, can anyone stop this march? It doesn't look like anyone can even hit it or get close to it, as OV's middle remains OV's middle. And they indeed take this Ark, turn on the blender, and there went the red team out of the middle. While that happened, they secured back their Sky Altar, which is a very, very important play by OV. Great reaction by them. They also took their opposition's outposts, which means even less points for them. That's 90 points. One of them is actually ticking in favor of the blue team, so that's even better right there. And so OV right now, marching this Ark somewhere, is going to be about 600 points behind in terms of the overall status, but they're going to have 3,000 points in the bank. V636 occupied successfully the Desert Altar. So now this Desert Altar is actually giving points to the red team. And this is really bad for OV because that point per minute differential just shot up to 330 points per minute. And that can still keep going once those outposts are secured back in favor of the red team, and there's the Sky Altar still being contested. Look at the drop of the Ark. One red solo march, two red marches managed to sneak their way into the Ark. I mean, they're going to pick it up and get insta-murderly swarmed. Actually, it would have been better to just leave it be and then use that march to do something, but instead, it just got kapoofed. And so, blue team right there picking up the Ark back. And Desert Altar still super well secured. Huge rallies and armies in here. Oh boy. Let's see if we can click on the building really quickly and get ourselves a battle report potentially. No battle reports. We're going to have to ask the folks in OV or V636 later on to send us some awesome reports from this fight so we can take a look at what is going on. Slouty is now coming in with his marches to try to swarm a little bit this Desert Altar. The Desert Altar is very well secured by V636. They know that the points per minute game is right there. They're now trying to take back an OV outpost being defended by Zenobia. There's a Zenobia on an outpost, for crying out loud. That's definitely something else. I mean, they know that this is 30 points per minute. Why not throw Zenobias in there and make it extremely difficult to take your own building back? That makes a lot of sense. That's probably the same situation down here. As the Ark is firmly in the blue team's hands, they're trying to get their Desert Altar back, and they're swarming and now rallying with an Atel Takeda as well. But, I mean, at this point, the building's been ticking on for so long for the red team that even if the blue team and OV pick up their building back, it already caused fairly big amount of damage. The folks of the red team are now 1,500 points almost in the lead. With that Ark, OV will take the lead back to 1,500 points per minute for them, but there is 12 long minutes until the Ark gets potentially dropped, and another 8 minutes until the next one comes in. And in that time, the folks in the red team are making more points every single minute. So for OV, it is crucial to get their buildings back. And there is a change in the garrison. We see a Zenobia garrison now. There was previously a Nebuchadnezzar march in there. And now I see a Zenobia defending that building with everything it's got. I mean, all these red marches just got blundered by the blender of the middle. The middle came in here and just blended everything around here. And now they will take their building back. But hey, damage done. This building went down something like 10 minutes ago, and it's been ticking for points ever since. 6-7 minutes for the folks in red. So great job right there. Where is the Ark? Okay, well, the Ark is somewhere in there. It'll at some point decide to show up. In the meantime, we got more rallies going all over the place. This building still hasn't come down, by the way. It is still red. Ladies and gentlemen, that Zenobia will not let it go until the very last second, and here it is. The blue team recovered their Desert Altar finally, and now their Sky Altar has a little bit of a siege close to it. The blue team also, in OV, smashing into a Desert Altar down here, and there is a good rally in there. I was looking at it on the other monitor, but this was so well defended by V636 that they're just taking care of the swarms. They're not allowing the swarms to help the rally do damage to the building. And then they leave the rally be to do what it needs to do. And it's taking its time to go against the Zenobia, while the open field marches are focusing on getting rid of these kinds of annoying marches around the field that are meant to help the rally even further. And so, great play by V636. They are in the lead now, 1,600 points. The Ark is still somewhere. I mean, I'm assuming at some point in time we will get to see the Ark again, but I'm guessing OV have it held somewhere. And there is this successful escort. Now the scores have flipped. 1,500 point lead, 1,400 point lead, 1,500 point lead for OV. 8 minutes on the timer, and now again down to 60 points per minute in the lead for the red team. It is time to play for the buildings, play for the provisions, and get ready towards that middle. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, we always keep an eye to make sure there's provisions. We've been talking about provisions season after season. Provisions are a huge part of Ark, and this year more than ever, we've seen 11,000, 12,000, 14,000 points worth of scores from provisions. You can literally offset Ark with good provisions, so we got to keep our eyes on that as well. 38 minutes remaining in the match, ladies and gentlemen. If you're enjoying the cast, don't forget to drop a like on the stream, and of course, hit that subscribe button. And thank you to all of you new subscribers joining us, Michael, Striker Gaming, and many more of you. With that being said, back into the action we go. Slouties, Archer Rally. Everybody going Archer Rally. This is interesting. That Nebu Rally potentially changing the meta, and he is rocking. We're going to go take a try to see if we can find this. Oh, it got obliterated. That was the rally. Where is it? That rally just got smoked. That rally just got smoked. They just swarmed the life out of that rally. Where is the leader? They had a garrison person ready to rock and roll. Oh my goodness. That Archer rally just went poof. Let's go take a look really quickly at the red side of the map. Buildings are blinking. Sky Altar being sieged and successfully defended. Sky Altar of the blue team, on the other hand. V636, oh boy, they are here. But OV have the defense. It's fairly well secured. They got the swarm to get rid of the rally real quick. From there you go swarm the side marches. You got micro fillers in here as well. Very well defended by OV, like OV know how to do. Come on. In the meantime, lots of marches just standing by the Desert Altar right now for the team in red, looking potentially for a next siege. Here comes the siege we're talking about. It is at the top. Blue OV Desert Altar. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you go swarm a building, be careful. If there is a rally on its way and there is 10 swarmers on the building, now we see it fills up. If the rally gets here and it has no space for it to hit the building, it'll march around the building and not join in the swarm. So if you launch a rally, this looks like a massive swarm. But if there's a rally on its way, this swarm is going to have to stop and make space for the rally to be able to hit. It doesn't look like they're going to wait for anything. They are looking for a big boy swarm. I saw right there Mr. B with a secondary, there it is right there, a Caesar and Nebuchadnezzar, however the heck you say his name, both of them on the field. And oh my goodness gracious, this is looking good. This is looking very, very good for the team in red. They are doing everything they can. Here comes a rally. Is that a cavalry and archers rally? I'm slightly confused, or those are cavalry mounted archers, because there are those. Now look at this rally. It found a spot. That is nice. All right. Well, someone moved. Rally hitting. Desert Altar about to go down. Oh my goodness gracious. What's behind this friend right here? What is behind in this rally? Because I'm actually, and there is a Ramses. Okay, so that's a Ramses back there. We're looking at a Nebu rally and with a Ramses, and up there we had, what's his face? Cyrus with, right there. No, where is he? That's backwards. One of them was backwards. Oh, there's a garrison, supposed to be garrison march inside this Desert Altar. And this building is still going strong, but there is a rally. It is a full rally. OV doing everything they can to just hold on, to try to refill. Look at the rotators rotating around, trying to swarm the building. They are ready to rock and roll. But the rally down here is still fully white, and it is slowly taking the building down, ladies and gentlemen, as the swarm keeps coming in. OV's blender is starting to show up. There is still the rotations of folks looking for spots to hit the building, but nonetheless, the blender is here, and I am not sure this is enough. The building is about to go down. OV really need to start micro-filling these buildings, or else it might go down. The rally now is getting swarmed. That's a good first step for OV. They might still defend this building, ladies and gentlemen. They're not out of the woods just yet, but they could still lose it if they don't pay attention. The building still needs a little bit of filling. The captain was changed. The captain was changed as the garrison captain was kicked out. There is Slouty right there trying to refill that march. There was another garrison captain somewhere in here, but I guess they didn't make it into the building. Building is being heavy swarmed. The rally is still on. What are we watching as OV hold by the skin of their teeth onto their desert altar? The middle fights are happening, and bam! V636 take the desert altar again, but the fights are starting where OV play the best, and that is in the middle. The chainsaw is getting warmed up, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to see a lot of red being sawed out of the map, as the team in blue are notorious for being probably the best middle team in Rise of Kingdoms, in Ark of Osiris, and they make our screens go nuts. Just like that, look at the insane amount of marches hitting here, the special effects, the craziness. All we want to see is the marches fighting, right? But all the lights and flashing and all the good stuff, I guess, that adds into the dramatization of the status. We see a Lu Bu on the field, curiously enough. Peter once more with a Lu Bu. It's the same guy using that Lu Bu combo, interestingly enough. What else do we see on the map here that's very interesting? We keep seeing our friends Nebu and a little bit of Cyrus's occasionally. Where is he? There's a Nebu right there, another Nebu on the screen right below. Where do we see another Cyrus somewhere in here? I do not, but what I see is 1 minute and 32 seconds for the Ark to arrive, and we are seeing blue frowny faces, but look at the reds starting to pour out of the blender. Look at the reds starting to pour out as the blender is turned on. The game is barely holding on by the skin of its teeth to what is going on, and that is the chainsaw, that is the blender, that is whatever you want to call it, of OV, just pouring the red marches out of the middle. And if you take a look at the other side, you do see trickles of blues occasionally, but the massive quantity always comes from the side that crosses the chainsaw, the blender, the middle madness that is OV. With all that being said, though, they are an altar down, and they're 150 points per minute down. So they are losing their very interesting 3,000 point lead, 1,500 point lead in the buildings game while they compete for the next arc. This arc is going to give them a potential 3,500 point lead, but again, 150 points per minute going to the red team every single minute, and about to be 300 if they cannot take that desert altar back. I mean, that could be 300 points per minute, and then OV have very little time to play with the arc before they got to do something with it. We intentionally left the middle for a little bit to let the loadage cool down, and we can see OV. Oh, we did catch that Guan Yu Lu Bu right there. That building is probably going to go back in favor of OV, even though the 7 seconds that it'll hold, I mean, it'll give points. Oh, and there goes our signal. Apologies for that. That's a little bit of a crazy dongle. You're about to see the screen right back. Apologies. Bam, here we go. A little bit of a cheapo depot thing that needs to be replaced. The blender of middle is here, and V636 are holding for dear life. They're now 300 points per minute in the lead, but that's not going to last for long. This rally and swarm is going to take the blue desert altar back in their favor, and that's trouble for the folks in red. OV right now are probably going to take this arc back home, and they have stabilized the points per minute game to the point where they're down 150 points per minute for another 3 minutes. And that's it. They're back into even ground. So V636 have to get those points now. 30 minutes remaining in the match. We're still half of the match to go. This is how exciting this is. There's still half a match to go. V636 have to put the pedal on the gas to get all the blue buildings right now. They need to get the blue buildings. They need to start occupying them for as long as they can. Those outposts were not challenged the one time. These ones back here. The obelisk can go down as well. Those are still 20 points per minute. Get those buildings to go red and start gaining points because OV has you beaten in the middle. Every time an arc pops, that's points for OV. The question is, how long can you delay it? And the point is, they also control the difference between arcs. The moment this arc is delivered, there's 8 minutes until the next one, and they will choose when that'll happen. Now, V636 are doing what they need to do right now. Wait for someone to pick it up. Swarm the person who picked it up again and again and again. Slow down the arc progress because they need more time. They need the arcs to take a little longer. They need to make sure that they have time to set the rallies up, that they have everything they need. Picking up the arc right there wasn't really useful for them. That march just got destroyed 50% quicker. And so that really did not work in favor of V636 much. But now picking on John Wick, for example, shout out to my friend John Wick, could be a good idea, and that'll slow down the arc once more. And there is red presence here to slow down the arc further, which is good news. But the red team really needs to get more points. They cannot offset these points of OV that they are getting from these arcs. And there goes the arc from John Wick. Guys, 541 viewers and only 62 likes. Make sure you drop a like on the stream, says Dragor. I appreciate you, Dragor. Welcome to all of you new folks watching the stream. And we're just getting started. There's half a stream still to go, and we got a lot more insight for you all. So, of course, don't forget to smash that like on the stream, and let's get going. So the arc is now back in favor of the blue team, and it is marching fairly fast. It's probably a done deal right there. And now the $1 million question is, how does the red team react? If I'm OV, instead of delivering that arc, instantly starting the timer again. OV wants to get those extra points that they know they control. The Shrine of Life is very well secured. But when we go take a look at rally set, there are 2 set by the red team on both altar and altar and shrine, but you need 4 rallies right now. This swarm is not going to be efficient. It's not going to do the job. You're going to need a rally with the swarm, although again, folks are in the transition here, so you might be able to catch a little bit of an offset time as Snorlax comes in to reinforce the building, killing everybody's dream on getting into this building from the red team. And now Snorlax knows that he's here to microfill if need be. He's just going to let the building do what it needs to do, and then fill in whenever he needs to. The red team needs to start launching rallies. The red team needs to start gaining points quicker. They have 3 rallies set, which is a good thing, but they are losing their own outposts. These outposts are being contested by OV fellas who now are out here taking points away from the red team. And those are 90 points every minute, ladies and gentlemen. Those points are crucial. Here comes a massive siege onto the desert altar again by the red team, but the timing on it was a bit off. This time the middle team wasn't back home yet. They were in transition. So some of these guys are wounded, but some are freshly packed and ready to roll to come in here and defend this desert altar. Now, the desert altar is being massively swarmed, and this is a huge problem for the team defending because this causes a big blunder. When you're in this situation, all of your Discord is going crazy. I'm telling you this as someone who was in a scenario like this. All your Discord goes crazy. And now you got to start thinking, okay, what do I do and how do I do it? Building is always the #1 priority. Swarm the swarms second. This rally, I don't know if it's even going to get a shot at hitting anything. We're going to keep an eye on it. Did it actually find a spot? No, look at the rally. Look at the rally. It's going to rotate around. No, it actually found a spot. I am impressed. Okay, maybe that changed. Now I'm starting to think rallies can hit regardless. But usually 10 marches hitting a building, at some point, you're going to get the rally to get in and hit the building as well. Look at this thing. There's a rally down here. There is a Ethelfled Lubu. There are massive damage dealers and healing nerfs. There is an Alexander Mulan back here. There is a Tamaris doing skill damage debuffs in there. I mean, this desert altar has never seen such crazy siege, and the folks in OV know that they need to hold on for dear life. They need to get rid first and foremost of the rally. That rally is going to do a ton of damage. Once that's taken care of, The individual marches can go hit swarm individual targets, but the rally is a big one. You got to make sure you get rid of it because that does a ton of damage. After that rally is neutralized, you start going for the little guys that you can solo swarm and get rid of much quicker. And this building is still being sieged massively. We'll get back to it momentarily. We got to go take a quick peek at what's going on at the Sky Altar. There's another siege going on in here. Gentle, almost like they're listening. It is a rally time plus swarm. They're going for the altars. They know they need to get these points, but they also got to defend their own Sky Altar that's being sieged. And that Sky Altar is so well defended, we don't even need to look at it beyond that 1 second look. Here is Grunt the Fool. He almost took that Shrine of Life, but one more march came in here, and there's a swarm by a secondary Zenobia to secure that building. OV not delivering the Ark seems like a little bit of a misplay as far as I think. They are in the points per minute lead, though, by 90 points more. So they have all essentially the outpost points in their favor. Slouty Insatiable Desire tells us they're gathering, and here is OV defending their desert altar. They made it just in time with that middle team. It was all riled up and ready to rock and roll. The timing couldn't have been worse in there. But at least the Sky Altar went in favor of V636. Now, V636 cannot stand in here. They got to go. They got to either defend this building like for dear life or start marching towards the OV Desert Shrine of War. While that's happening, there's a rally coming down to the Desert Altar at the bottom down here, and it is getting severely swarmed already. OV trying to play the same exact play, except that this time they have a strong position on this side, and they're trying to get the offensive side, not the defensive. Let's see if V636 can manage to hold on to this building before the rally even hits. If they manage to clear all this swarm before the rally even hits, which it looks like this is going to be the case, that rally can simply just hit the building and chill for another 5-6 minutes while the building tanks it essentially, and that rally is going to get locked in. It is still marching. I believe it's arriving right there with a little bit of extra reinforcements, but a little too late. All you got to make sure is that this building is with the correct commanders and is fully secured with the full amount of troops and everything, and from there on, let the building just get hit. All is good. Tank that rally for a little bit. While all of this is going down, defense on the Desert Altar was established. Middle rotations already happening 7 minutes and 22 seconds before the Ark is even here. And here comes another rally, an Archer rally once more. And there's another Archer rally. It is Archer on Archer rallies all over the place, ladies and gentlemen, as everybody wants to destroy Zenobia with the latest and greatest Archer rallies. I guess, thank the Lord, I'm an Archer main player in the big account, because I guess we're getting the Archer players. But anyway, Archers on Archer on the defensive OV right there as the swarm begins once more into this Desert Altar siege. And this one's actually much better than the previous one. That middle team mostly left. That building is not very well maintained. It is going down very quickly. There's marches on their way to refill it, but oh my lordy, that swarm is doing so much damage at this point. 2 marches are holding on against a rally and a swarm, as our device will not allow the game to crash. We are watching another siege on the Desert Altar. They caught OV off guard. OV thought they had this in the bag, went towards the middle, refresh, and bam! The snipe comes in, and the points per minute lead again, 210 points per minute lead in the favor of the team in red, although OV secured the Ark of Osiris, ladies and gentlemen. And so in 6 minutes, one more is about to come up, and they are still 3,400 points in the lead thanks to that Ark. The points per minute game have not been favorable for OV, so hope and pray their provisions have been, because there is still a chance. Oh baby, there is still a chance. And with an Archer rally, an Archer garrison holding the Desert Altar very firmly and securely, while the Sky Altar is still being hit on. Just a little bit of love right there. The blue outpost that's supposed to be red is about to be taken care of. There is a march here being a pest. You should not die in a provision style, my man. If you die in a provision style, you lose all your provisions. So you definitely don't want to be doing that. Oh, he caught your tile. That's messed up. That's actually awesome. That's hilarious. Look at V636 coming towards the middle. They know that this middle is pretty much their match. Now, Honestly, I still don't think there is anyone who's going to be able to come in here and just do what they need to do to OV to get that middle back. The Desert Altar is about to go back in favor of the blue team. 1 minute and 30 seconds plus that extra 3 minutes worth of cooldown. Obelisk at the top went red. Not a big deal, though. Still, we're looking at 260 points per minute in the favor of the red team. So they are closing the gap, and they're closing it as quickly as they can. 3,300 points, and they know this arc is going to come very soon. 4 minutes to the middle, and we're still looking at the middle. I cannot believe 4 minutes before the arc, and we're already looking at the middle. What is this? Looking at the Shrine of Life, it's about to go down. OV sleeping on the wheel, and there goes. We catch a moment right there. V636, 80 points per minute, gone for OV. And we're looking at 330 points per minute. My friends in OV are scratching their heads going, what on earth is going on? But they know their middle team is strong. They know that they have a lot of points in there, and they know that they are the two-time champion. They don't listen to what I say. They know what they're doing. They have a game plan, and we're about to see it unfold as once the blender, the chainsaw is turned on and vroom vroom start OV in the middle. Oh my lordy, it just never ends, ladies and gentlemen. If you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to slap a like on it. And of course, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We'll be casting this same match next week again. And we got a lot of awesome casts coming up in the near future. We're working on some interesting plans, to say the least. And so with all that being said, look at the middle situation. Oh my. Oh my. That middle is looking very, very hot very early on. Red and blue, very, very big fight. Of course, this is lagging like no one's business, and that's okay. I wanted to zoom out for you to see the blues and reds, and you'll see that there are reds among the blues. This is not a blue insane cloud. There's actually reds in between them, and so this is a full siege right here by both teams. I mean, they are dropping every single humanly possible skill. I'm trying to zoom out as much as we can so we get the least amount of like animations and the most amount of stuff on the screen, like commanders and energy and people dying and stuff like that. That's what we want to see. The animations and all that is less important, but look at the blender. It has been turned on. The chainsaw is going right now, and V636, the tablet will not let you fail us. It will not fail us. Look at the red pour again out of middle as there's 2 minutes until the arc. There's actually time for the middle team and the red team to come back to middle. Heaven's Grace, healing troops. Did he just heal the middle troops? Okay, I see ya, Slouty. 2 minutes before, I mean, was it Slouty? Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Listen, there's still 2 minutes remaining. There's still 2 minutes remaining, ladies and gentlemen. So there is time for V636 for this march to potentially at least try to make it here. He's going to have a 2 minute march just to get to here, plus another minute to get home. So all he needs is his red team to hold for a little bit longer, and all of this wave that left the middle before the 2 minute mark can actually potentially make it back in. With all that being said, this is, oh boy, we clicked on something and went far, far away. Let's let stuff load up a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, as we're in the last 17 minutes of this match, and 100 points per minute go in the favor of the team in red as we are doing a crazy, crazy, crazy thing here, trying to get everything to load up at once, and that middle is just so unbelievably hard to look at. And there it went. And there it went, ladies and gentlemen. It had to happen. It was the first time. It had to happen. We're going to get right back into the action. We appreciate every single one of you watching this stream with us today. Oh, boy. Let's see. And with all of this going on, come on, baby. Let's get in here. Watch. Enter. Huzzah. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, as we insta-simplify graphics. We're in the match once more, and that middle is going strong. 15 seconds before the arc pops up. We have refreshed the game, which means everything works much nicer. Interestingly enough, We are looking at a middle team. Ark is in. There are red marches in here, able to potentially come in. But the folks in blue created this chainsaw of marches in the front. And there's a lot of back marches just picking up Ark. Specifically, this one here picked up the Ark, and it is marching. Red team had some marches in the back as well, coming in potentially for a backstab to stop that Ark from moving. At this point, it's just slowed down the pace of those Arks. We're down to less than 2,000 points, 1,400 points in the favor of OV. So, hey, if this Ark stays on the ground long enough, there is still space for there to be enough provisions on the one side to beat the other. And so this Ark needs to drop, and it is dropped indeed. OV drops the Ark, and now red team, if they try to pick it up, I can understand it. At this point, they're going to do everything within their humanly power to just survive here. But honestly, at this stage, anyone who picks it up, you click here, you click target, and you destroy it as quickly as you can with your marches. There are red marches right here coming back. Like I mentioned to you all, ladies and gentlemen, if they could have slowed the Ark enough, these marches can make it back for a round two, and they are starting to make it back. The problem is they're pouring in slowly and steadily, and they're going through the blender that is the setup marches of OV, waiting for them to get here one by one. They still are going to keep doing this, and they have to, because they have to get to that Ark, and they have to stop it from moving. Once it stops moving, all these red marches are going to make their way in closer, and things will get much easier. Now, Gia's march that's carrying the Ark is getting hit, and it is getting hit hard, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to go down, and it still has a little bit of red left in it. Come on, OV pushing. There goes V636. They're not going to let it go. As soon as the Ark pops, everything changes, because now all the V636 marches are going to be able to stand and start targeting and are not chasing anymore the Ark. But the Ark is down. V636 now need to stand by. They need to figure out how they get closer to the Ark and how they now set themselves up. They're not going to want to keep running after the Ark. They want to be able to set up and target correctly. For that, they got to get closer to the Ark, so when John Wick picks it up, they can instantly swarm him and take it away from him and not allow OV to pick up the Ark. That's exactly what needs to be happening. But instead, John Wick is taking off. John Wick is taking a couple of hits. He is still going, though. There are marches right behind him, so he will probably not make it out of here alive, but he did what he needed to do, which is keep the Ark moving. For V636, they need to get close to the Ark, not to allow an OV to pick up the Ark instantly and keep marching it. They want to make sure that if those guys pick up the Ark right now, there's marches that'll instantly target them and instantly take them out. The more OV keep dragging this, all of these red marches are going to keep dragging, and it'll allow OV to control which marches make it through and which ones don't. That's why they keep picking up this Ark, even with the red marches. The red marches now, as you can see, they have converted to go after this target. All of these blue marches in this blunder right here are just picking marches that are auto aiming at the chase. And this is such a hugely advantageous play for OV. It's crazy. This is how you get your advantage. This is them essentially dragging on. They know that they got what it takes. They know that this Ark is theirs. But they, at this point, managed to drag a whole second wave of V636s. Those V636s, though, are no suckers. They picked up a Desert Altar right here, and they're on the way now to this Ark. They're not going to let this Ark go down for free, that's for sure, but they're also winning the points per minute game. And so by delaying the Arks further, if this Sky Altar somehow manages to fall, it would be amazing for V636, but doubtful. There's no open field presence there by V636. This Ark is probably more than likely, like 99% going to OV, but all of these marches are just going to make it so that it's the last Ark for sure. There could have been a scenario in which there could have been one more Ark available. If OV had instantly delivered this Ark and not had to fight for it like they have been, they could have had one more Ark, which is more guaranteed points for them. But now, even if they really want to, there would just not be enough time for one more Ark. 8 minutes worth of an Ark timer. There's 11 minutes right there. The Ark carrier is about to get dropped, and when that happens, there's going to need to be a little bit more fighting. And so there's probably going to be 2 minutes left when the Ark is popped, and so the likelihood of another Ark being a thing is very low. Now, Ark worth 4,000 points will put OV at a very strong lead. They're going to be, they're right now almost, what is this, 1,600 points ahead? No, 1,800 points. Something like that. Math not working today. About let's call it 1,600 points ahead. Okay, fine. They're about 1,600 points ahead. 4,000 points worth of an arc puts them at 5,600 points right there. And that becomes a problem. At this point, there's 10 minutes remaining. The points per minute game is still heavily in the favor of the red team, but it's not enough. They're going to need to have insatiable provisions, and they're going to have as many points as they can towards the end. At this stage, I can tell you that a lot of teams have gone into even provisioning. I know of folks who literally 5 minutes before the end of the match, any march that they have not on the field goes to provision and comes back home nearby tile or something like that. So expect still this to not be 100% an OV match just yet. We got to make sure that both team provisioned correctly. One mistake provisioning can cost the game here for OV, as the points per minute game was solely 100% in the favor of V636. They actually took the Sky Altar. So now they're looking at 300 points per minute worth of a lead, and in a few moments, they're going to get to 600 points worth of a lead. Now we're starting to talk. Now that point per minute of 5,600 points are starting to look much, much, much smaller, as OV need to get their buildings back. In 16 seconds, this building is going to tick for points for the red team, and they have marches here. They just cannot allow the building to fall. If they keep holding on to the building, forget about the open field, just keep holding on to the building, they're actually going to get a ton of points for free. And so here we go. The building should be securing any second now. And there it is. 740 points per minute to the 290 of OV. We're looking at 450 points per minute in favor of the folks in red. Now it's starting to look interesting. It's getting closer and closer, ladies and gentlemen, towards the end. 8 minutes remaining. Provisions are still a thing, and the folks in red have made sure to take away as many points out of the folks in blue as they can. Now, if they cannot hold on to their own Desert Altar, this will be very problematic, but they definitely can. They are winning the building game, and they are here to defend this Sky Altar for dear life. They know that they have to just hold for dear life, at least for 3 minutes, so that there's not that much time for that to give points to OV. Oh, that march wanted to get quick suicide, and it got what it wanted. This was the march to go after, but that's okay. Here come the OV madness trying to get their building back, but hey, this building has a minute left in the ticking, and there's a lot of red marches. Fighting happening all over the place. This Desert Altar is looking in a very bad shape. Red team needs to get in the building as much as they humanly can. Hold on to the Desert Altar that's giving them so many points. OV actually spending skills to take a building back. Unbelievable stuff by OV, trying to get their buildings down and secured. They thought that they had it, but it's less than 6,000 points right now. We're looking at a much closer match, slowly and steadily getting closer and closer. When provisions come in, it'll be a huge pain in the butt. But every second that goes by in this match, the red team is getting more points. And in 15 seconds, another 150 will go in their favor. So look at this right here. The building is still holding. Unbelievable. Can they make it 890 points per minute for their team in the last 7 minutes, ladies and gentlemen? There it is. 600 points per minute more to the team in red in 7 minutes remaining. Uh-oh. That gap is going to close, and it's going to close fast. OV need to get their provisioning sorted. It is not over until it's over, as provisions still trickling in. 6 minutes remaining, and both teams are starting to submit a little bit of provisions. I see OV going up a little, and then I see we see folks of V636. I see OV go up. I see V636. They're going up slowly and steadily. Those provisions are coming in. Not the major ones, but those like this man right here who was just standing there waiting on a fight and provisioning. That's how you trickle in points. Very well done right there. Desert Altar secured back to the team in blue, and so the points per minute go down. Red team, though, holding on to the Sky Altar really, really well. This building is supposed to be blue, and it is red instead. 32, less than 5,000 points in between these two teams, ladies and gentlemen, as we are nearing the end. And oh my lordy, somewhere along the way, we reached a max capacity on the recording, so we missed a few moments worth of the match in our recording, but that's okay. Let's take a peek. Can the red team take this building back? It would be Kind of hilarious if they manage to get it done, but I doubt they will. There's a lot of OV presence there. Buildings are still blinking, and they are still giving points to the team in red. OV swarming the heck out of the Sky Altar, and the Sky Altar has a lot of open field presence around it. It is doing everything it can to hold, and it is holding. It's unbelievably holding as the points go down again to less than 5,000 points as they go up and down, left and right, with provisions coming in. This match is going to get decided again right there. 3 minutes until the middle. And there is some sort of crazy world in which you say the middle is still in contest. I don't know how you say that, but there is a crazy world where that is a thing. Of course, if you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to drop a like on it. And of course, if you haven't checked out the channel and subscribed to us yet, make sure you do so. I'd appreciate that very much. We'll be casting another match next week. Same match, same place, same time. You know the drill. And give you all the latest breakdowns. We're also recording the matches to show you later on highlights from this match and things we've learned out of the crazy rallies. And here comes OV. Theoretically, they could theoretically march all the way with Ark from here in 2 minutes. But that would mean nobody stops it. It doesn't drop. It doesn't do anything. And that's probably not going to happen. And at the same time, the points per minute are down to less than 4,000 points. Ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes on the score. Keep your eyes on the score because those scores are going to change instantaneously, and they're going to happen live, and they're going to happen quick. We're down to less than 4,000 points. We were up to 6 at some point. OV pouring into the middle. It is still a potential middle play right there. The little bit of insurance marches might have some trouble. They're going to want to maybe have someone show up in here and be like, yo, we should make sure this don't happen for real. OV taking a Desert Altar from V636. V636 lose the Sky Altar too, and just like that, OV 2 nails on the coffin right there, with the Desert Altar being taken for the first time all match long. And the Sky Altar being secured back again. And so just like that, the points per minute evened out entirely. And we're looking at 4,400 point lead for OV. The middle team is here. And I mean, Provisioners, you guys have a couple of minutes still. You can stay out, you can come back. All is good. There is no rush. But the Ark definitely needs to be handled by V636 exactly like that. They just need to not let it march. If it doesn't march 1 or 2 times, easy peasy, and from there we see what happens. Folks are saying GG to OV. I wouldn't say that just yet. Provisions are still coming in, and so I don't think that OV have it in the bag yet, but I do see a very high possibility of OV winning this match. We haven't had the time to look at their provisions and who's doing what. We know that they use this insatiable desire, and so maybe, just maybe, there is an equal provisioning score and therefore an equal situation. I know that the fight is happening down here. If y'all want to see the fight, we can take a look at this fight right here. But realistically, all I'm keeping my eye on is this top area to make sure that the Ark doesn't drop and start going in this way too quickly, because it has 2 minutes to march. So if the red team drop it on their side, it would actually win them the match for sure if it drops on their side, because that's all they need worth of a delay. And I mean, they can always try to bring it home themselves, right? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? There is someone contesting for it up on the top. Bread. Did he get it? No, he did not. An Ark capture by OV, and they're going to try to move forward, and they got to move quick. The points per minute game are even, and the provisions are coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, we're down to 2,200 points worth of a difference between these two teams. Careful for those of you who counted the folks in V636 out. It is down to the wire, 2,400 points as both teams are provisioning. We're going to try to keep an eye on it. 2,600, 2,500 points lead worth for OV. The Ark is probably not going to make it home, and we're going to keep our eyes on both the score and the Ark. Do not turn off the stream yet. It is not over until it's over. We've seen things happen. As OV still in the lead by now they have about 2,400 points worth of a lead in there. That lead is growing slowly now at 2,600 points, and they are getting some of their provisioners back home. So are V636. There's still a full minute remaining, so there's provisions. Big provisioners might still be coming home. There is a yoink right there. 300 points up for the folks in red. Puts this match at 2,500 points worth of a difference. And oh, here come the provisions by OV with 3,400 points worth of a lead right now, 52 seconds remaining. This is, again, not over until it's over. There is still time for more provisions to come in. Believe it or not, we've seen provisions come in the last 5 seconds and change a match. So at this point, we are holding, and we're holding for dear life. 2,700 points worth of a lead for OV, and it's coming down. It is coming down. We're looking at 2,200 points now, and it's shifting. They're bringing in provisioners as quick as we can count. Oh my goodness, here come more provisioners. 2,500 points worth of a lead for OV. That one arc, all they needed was one arc. Winning that middle and their provisions sealed the deal. You're going to see the occupation score is going to be abysmally lower. But hey, provision and arc and 2 seconds remaining. And GG's to none other than the 2 times champions, OV. In probably one of the closer matches I have seen in a very long time. Don't worry, the no signal is a stupid dongle that needs a little disconnect and reconnect, and it'll come right back. Occasionally it poofs, but it's okay. Here we go. We are back online. Here is the score. And so, OV got wrecked in occupation. They know this. 6,000 points more in the favor of the folks in red. They actually out-provisioned them as well. But for OV, basic control of buildings from their middle control 100% and baseline provisioning 10,000 plus provisioning is all they need. All they need in order to win an arc. That's how it is. That's what they need. They've almost given up on the middle. Look at the kills. Look at the kills. It tells you the story in that middle. The blender. The units healed by V636 is actually massive, and OV healed just as much, by the way. 12,000 provisions on 1,100 on the other side, and 12,000 on both of them. If you are gonna leave the cast, I appreciate you very much for chilling in the cast with us today. Don't forget to drop a like before you leave, and hopefully we'll see you in a future stream / video on whatever it is. But anyway, if we continue looking at this score, we're seeing teleports evened out at 30. Both teams teleported correctly. Occupations. A lot of occupations back and forth for OV, but a lot more points accumulated for V636. And that's win number 1. That's part number 1 of a potential 2-match situation, as the third match is not really going to happen if it's a 2-0, unfortunately. Ark versus occupation game. Ark 1, occupation 0. Thanks for the great coverage. I don't know. That's so not fair. Occupation... In theory, occupation plays a much stronger play, but the arc, that middle is just a killer. If you get all arcs, and if you can get 3 arcs, that's 10,000 points. It's rough. It is not simple. It's not simple at all. And here it is right there. OV won indeed. We expected this to happen, but that was a very close match. That was such a close match. What else can be said? All this VOD is going to be available to you momentarily on the channel. We have all the commentary, all that good stuff. We recorded the full match, most of the match, so we're going to shorten it out for you guys and show you a few of the highlights of that match that are worth for you to keep your eye on the meta of Ark of Osiris. For now, congratulations to OV, to my boys and friends in OV. Shout out to my friend John Wick for another W right there. That victory right next to their name is everything. Competition is over. Next match next week, 3 p.m. UTC. We will be back here. Make sure you bring your alliance mates, your friends, everybody who you know that watches Rise of Kingdoms to check out this commentary, as we will be doing the same next week on Sunday, 3 p.m. UTC. And as far as our bets, well, rest in peace, coins. We'll see you all sooner rather than later. Appreciate every single one of you again who subscribed to the channel, dropped a like, did all that good stuff, and chilled in the stream all the way to now. Y'all are amazing people. Thank you for helping me make my dream slowly and steadily come true. The 1-0 appeared right there. And I will see you all again very soon.